So I want to start by just asking one or two rhetorical questions. And then basically my plan for this afternoon, this evening, is to hand you each one of the evaluation sheets which I photocopied from the handbook on different elements of evaluation, and to ask everybody to evaluate at least one of the speeches that you hear tonight, as well as the official evaluators. Okay? Then at the end of the session, when I'm doing my general overall evaluation, I want that to be another interactive one, where we compare notes. It doesn't matter if 2 or 3 people evaluate the same person, they're bound to do by the law of averages, that's absolutely fine. What we're learning from this is the different elements that are evaluated and the way that different people see things and hear things differently. So hopefully that will be a useful start to the programme that Lindsay Dutch will then continue on the 19th. Okay, so just before we start doing that, can we just ask ourselves for a minute how evaluation can be helpful? Because some people I know are very worried about giving any sort of criticism to other speakers. We're all in it together, we all do the speaking, and we all know how it feels to be on the receiving end of criticism. But the point is that it has to be constructive. If you don't suggest remedies or alternative ways of doing things to the speaker, then there's no point in telling them how they went wrong or what they could have improved. But you also have to be analytical, and you have to become an analytical listener. You have to hear not only what the speaker is trying to say, but how effective that is. Is it entertaining? Is it persuasive? Is it informative? And when you give your feedback, you have to be honest. I mean, I said to myself at the end of all this, I think the basic idea of evaluation is to make us aware of whether or not we want this speaker to continue for the rest of the evening, whether we're all desperate for them to shut up. Although obviously you wouldn't say that to them in so many words, but that's kind of what's motivating your evaluation in the kindest possible way. All right, the next question is who evaluates? At the Speakers Club we all do it, and it doesn't matter how experienced or how inexperienced we are. We all have something to say, and we all have plenty to learn. And I've always maintained throughout my teaching career that the best way to learn something is to teach it to someone else. And I think the same thing is true of evaluation. So we're listening and recognising good practice from other people so that we can modify our own performance where necessary. And then finally, what are we evaluating? Well, again, we have this same mantra: content, structure and style. But when you look through these evaluation forms, an awful lot of it seems to be about style. And one of the things that concerns me a little bit sometimes about the competitions that I've witnessed is that there seems to be a lot of premium on style over substance, which is actually not true to the handbook, because when you look at the evaluation sheets, quite a lot of them are to do with the substance of the speech. So, for example, one of them is on vocabulary and word pictures. How does the speaker build up a picture of what they're trying to say? There's another one on use of humour. Has humour been seamlessly added, or does it seem as if they've thrown a few extra jokes in without really any reason for them? Does the speech convince us? Are we convinced by the research? Do we feel that the speaker is an expert on their topic, and what do they say to convince us of that? So I think that content is as important as delivery for me. And I think for a good speaker it should be. And you've heard plenty of speeches recently on the television from politicians, and we all know the ones that we don't believe and the ones that we do trust, if there are any that we trust. Okay, all right, so just to sum up then, we evaluate to improve, we evaluate constructively to help everybody who hears it, we all evaluate each other, and we evaluate the content, the structure and the style.